Hello, everyone. It's time for another edition of Adams for the Love of Movie Picks. This time around, we're going to be talking about the 2008 movie Hancock. Obviously, starring Will Smith as the main character. It's also got Charlize Theron in it, as well as Jason Bateman. So the premise of the movie is Will Smith plays basically like, even though he's got a lot of good superpowers, he plays a superhero, but like a really bad superhero. Like he's an alcoholic. He just has no regard for the destruction he causes and trying to do good and use his superpowers for good. It's quite a hilarious scenario. It's basically like if superheroes were real and there was real world consequences. That's basically what it's about, and him coming to terms with that. So yeah, it starts off with him. You see him at the beginning of the movie doing this thing, trying to be a superhero. And at one point in the movie, he ends up saving Jason Bateman's character, Ray, who's basically like a publisher. He's a good guy. He's trying to change the world through his publicizing agency. And he basically is saved from being, hit in his car, a train by Hancock. And he sees an opportunity to change Hancock for the better, get him to clean up his act, use his superpowers for good, but in a responsible manner, and just be a better person. Charlize Theron plays Ray's wife, Mary. And you find out later on in the movie that there's a connection between her and Will Smith's character, who is John Hancock. It's quite a humorous movie. I mean, not just for the fact that Will Smith's character is just this miserable kind of superhero at the beginning, but just the storyline and lots of things in the movie are quite funny. As you would expect it to be with a superhero who just has no regard for anything, just does whatever he wants, how he wants to do it, almost halfway through the movie. So yeah, Ray basically gets him to atone for his crimes by starting to serve time in prison until he's using it to make the public miss Hancock, want him back, and actually want him around, because as you can imagine, with him, the way he does everything, he's not really very well liked by anybody. It's quite funny. Everybody basically uses one word to sum up what he is, and that's an asshole. And it's actually kind of his trigger word. Anytime somebody calls him that, it gets him really upset. It's quite a humorous thing that goes on throughout the movie. So yeah, basically he spends a couple weeks in prison, and eventually Ray is right that the public does call on him to for his services in a situation that they can't handle. You got a bank robbery with a bunch of heavily armed guys that the police just can't handle. They got like rocket launchers and machine guns and everything, and Hancock comes in, does this thing, saves the day, and basically gets the recognition and appreciation from the public that he's so sorely missed. And yeah, as the movie goes along, you find out he thinks he's the only one of his kind, and he finds out that him and Mary, Ray's wife, were actually at one point husband and wife thousands of years ago. They basically are immortal. They've lived for thousands of years. But Hancock, you find out in the 1930s, was basically when they get together and pair up, their powers weaken and they become more vulnerable. So in the 1930s, he gets attacked, and he basically loses his memory of what had happened, anything prior to that. So he thinks he's the only one, and he's been separated from all this time, but she remembers who he is and everything about it, and it's just kind of creates chaos between her and Hancock's character. And of course, Ray doesn't know anything about it up until she reveals the secret. So yeah, it's definitely it's a good movie to watch. It's quite humorous. I would say audience-wise, it's probably, I wouldn't say anybody under the age of 14. It deals with some serious themes, and there's some language, obviously, and stuff like that. So yeah, I wouldn't say anybody under the age of 14. You pretty much find it anywhere you can get movies. I don't know if it's available on any kind of a streaming platform, but yeah, definitely a good watch. I would definitely recommend Hancock. Check it out. And yeah, that's all I got to say for that one. We'll check you in the next one. Have a good one, folks. Take care. Bye.